Hi, welcome back. This is a continuation of section 2.5, two quantitative variables, scatterplot and correlation. And I want to do a couple things. I want to show you how to generate a scatterplot with its trend line, how to get the equation for that trend line, and how to get the correlation all in sheets. Now we're going to talk a little bit about how that equation can help us at the same time. And this will be kind of a preview of section 2.6, because in 2.6 we're going to talk a little bit more about this regression. So let's just for now talk about how to get this scatter plot and how to get the correlation. So let's take a look at runs. So this is baseball data. And we're going to take a look at runs versus walks. And we're just going to see what that looks like. So you're going to highlight both runs and walks. Now, on my Mac, I can do this by clicking and dragging down the runs data, and then holding down the command key and clicking and dragging down the walks data. On a PC, you'll hold down the control key. But either way, you need to have the runs and the walks highlighted. Now we're going to go up to Insert, Chart, and hopefully Sheets will give you a scatter plot, but if not, you can change the type of plot right up here, and down at the very bottom, near the bottom, it says Scatter. Okay, great. So now what? And Sheets, because I included the titles, Sheets gave me titles, gave me a walks versus run title, and put the runs versus and walks on the appropriate axes. Okay, so how do I get a trend line? Well, it's actually fairly simple. I'm hovering my mouse over the dots, and when I click on one of them, my menu to the right changes, and I have one, and I can just insert a trend line. All right, now, if I need the equation for that trend line, I just scroll down a little bit and see right here where it says a label. I can click Use Equation, and it gives me the equation of that line. We'll talk more about what this means in section 2.6. Okay, now, you might be tempted to use this show r squared, but in this class we aren't using r squared, we're using r. So how do I get r? Well, there's a function that lets us get r. So I'm going to go out here into an empty cell in my spreadsheet. Let me move my chart over. And I'm going to label this thing the correlation. And then I'm going to type a function. And the function I'm going to use is correl. C-O-R-E-L. And then what it wants is it wants the X data first, and this time without a label. And then with a comma, we tell it we're done with the X data, and now I can get it the Y data, which is the walks. Again, without the label. And I hit enter, and it gives me a correlation of 0.339. Now it gives me all those other digits, that's way too many. Let's decrease those decimal places. Okay, so that is how you do this in Sheets. It's fairly simple. Let's take a look at how we accomplish the same thing in StatKey. StatKey makes this actually even simpler. So we're going to start out here on the main page of StatKey. And in this left-hand top pane, I'm going to come down and I'm going to click on two quantitative variables, because that's where we're living for a little bit here. Two quantitative variables, and we can select a variety of data sets, or we can upload a data set. Let's take a look at NBA players' defensive rebounds versus offensive rebounds for the year 2019. That looks like we might actually have a fairly good positive association, so let's take a look. So a couple of things I want you to notice here. Look over here in this table at the right hand corner. It gives us the correlation. It gives us a correlation of 0.751 and a slope of 1.67. Like I said, we're going to talk more about what these slope and intercepts mean in the next section, but this correlation of 0.751 says it's a fairly strong correlation. That is your R value right there, that 0.751. And if I click show regression line, it will put my regression line in there for me. Now it doesn't display the equation on the graph nicely like Sheets does, but it does give you the ability, it gives you the slope and the intercept so you can build that equation yourself. Okay, there are additional, so I hope this has been helpful. It's really fairly simple to create a scatter plot either in StatKey or in Sheets. If you have any questions, reach out.